What is going on, everybody? Welcome to podcast episode 38. Today I'm going to be joined by the Trailer Trash podcast crew. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. What is going on, everybody?
Hello. What's popping out? It's the Trailer Trash podcast crew plus Chris.
Plus Chris.
The Galactic Warrior.
I figure with so many of us, we'll just start getting through the questions. How did you guys get into logistics? Where was your start?
Well, we started doing wholesale trucks and trailers as a company. My father-in-law had a company where he bought and sold trucks and trailers around the country from fleets. He brought my brother-in-law into it after he branched off on his own, and then they brought me on, and then my other brother-in-law, Matthew, came on. He's been on the show already. And we were a wholesale business for a long time. We tried some retail in some other spots. We live in Minnesota. We don't do a ton of business in Minnesota until we started Newport. Most everything is outside of the state. Once we started Newport, we brought on Dakota. We brought on my little brother. Once we met Dakota, then we brought on her sister Beth, and then we knew Ellie from people that worked here with the wholesale side. That became Newport, and now I feel like these three run the show.
So it's like a semi-family business at this point.
It's very close. We're all closer to family in some ways.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you guys do a lot of business in Minnesota now? You mentioned you didn't when you started, but has it kind of grown over the years?
It has. With the Newport leasing side, they're able to lease trailers direct to local customers, whereas we don't have a huge wholesale base in Minnesota for selling trucks and trailers. We are starting to do more retail stuff, which is based out of Minnesota here. We have a location in Clearwater that is just dedicated to it now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's where these three work out of. I'm in a different office in now than just outside of Elk River, so we're about 40 minutes apart on the daily.
Okay, we're going to have a segment to talk exactly what you guys do day to day. I just want to get through how did you guys get into logistics before we move into that. So, Dakota, are you next?
Yeah, I was actually in healthcare for probably 6 years before I had anything to do with the transportation industry. COVID hit the position I was in with Medtronic, actually. They lost funding for their programming, had some stuff go down, and I was out of job. So essentially I went on to Indeed, and I was kind of looking around, and I was like, well, I don't know what I can do. I don't want to go back into healthcare right now. That is stressful.
Yeah, not really the greatest time to be in the healthcare industry.
No. So I remember I searched just in Clearwater, Minnesota, and we're a tiny town. I was like, nothing's going to pop up. Sure as shit, Newport Leasing Group, looking for administrative admin something and social media person. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I clicked on it, applied, and got a call from, I think it was Jill or Alex maybe, and had an interview. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Yeah, I don't know anything about trucking, but I will learn. And
don't worry. I don't think anybody that I've interviewed has ever been like, I was 7 years old and I wanted to be in trucking when I grew up.
No,
really common.
Where I started, I was in mortgage banking for a long time. That whole industry fell out, at 2008 and 2009, and then I ended up. Father-in-law basically said, these are, if you can do the loans, these are just houses on wheels. So never had any interest in trucks or trailers before that. Now to me, they are just houses on wheels, and they're even more than that. They're little dollar signs too. So
yeah.
I mean, I used to dig holes in the freezing cold in Canada. So I didn't think I was going to end up in trucking either. So
speaking of Canada, I want to show you something really quick. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, spot fellow Canadian in the wild. Is that something you're able to do?
Canadian. For some reason with your guys' team, I figured it was going to be like a middle finger in the middle of it.
Oh, no. I'm just half Canadian. That's all.
Okay, there you go. Who's next for how they got into logistics?
Smelly.
Okay.
Yeah, Ellie.
So I started at this company. Well, I started at the corporate side, so where Chris is at, my junior year of high school, just as summer help. I was just doing basic office work, and then it kind of turned into okay, well, I'll stay on a little bit longer, and then longer and longer, and then finally, I started getting into the leasing side of things last summer, and have been here ever since. And then sales was an opportunity for me that I later accepted because I was going to school to be a dental assistant at the same time while working here, and then I decided this past spring that I was going to do sales and stay at the company.
Decided
but
that
prior
making
to this,
adult money is a little better than going to school.
yeah, yep. Prior
We
to
tried
this,
to get
I
her-
had nothing with transportation. No
We
lines of
tried to get her to
transportation.
do like a pitch called Grills for Grills, where Ellie would just
Yeah.
give your teeth grills if you came in and bought trucks from her.
Mhm.
I don't know if that'll take
We
off.
were gonna
but-
set up
think you-
this office here for it.
I
It's still
think
gonna
you guys
happen.
will have a lot more success with that if you're based in like Chicago or like one of those.
Right.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Houston,
tell me
Texas. I
what's
don't know if
up.
Minnesota's the ideal market for grills on grills.
Yeah.
Beth,
I think
are you here?
No,
Are
it's
we
still
good?
gonna happen for Ellie. We're talking about it like it's not gonna happen, but it's still gonna happen for Ellie. We're gonna make it happen. We've got an office that's set up for it already.
Okay.
So I worked in healthcare for a little while, and then got hired on at a larger scale trucking company in fleet management, worked with like 40 or so drivers at a time, which I really enjoyed that job. And that was on the time, it was like 2 years into that job. And Dakota had reached out to me just saying, hey, Newport's looking for another employee. Like, are you interested? And I was like, I'm not looking for a new job, but like, I'll go meet the guys and whatnot and do an interview. And the interview that I had with them was, they've got like this beautiful office down in Nowthen where Chris is sitting right now. And there's a big, like, what is it? Oak? I don't even know what kind of table it was. But so there was like 6 owners and then Dakota. And I think of like a couple other random people showed up, and they're all sitting around this table and ordered pizza in and Busch Light as well. And that was the first time I had met them in person. And we all just sat there, and it wasn't really an interview. More so it was like, hey, this is the job. We don't really know what you're going to be doing, but we need somebody to do something. So this is how it's going to be. And we all like got along really well. So I was like, you know what? I guess I will quit my other job and come work here. And it's worked out for the best.
I won't even lie.
sniped you.
That's the same vibe that I had in my newest company that I'm at now, Hammer. He was like, how
Yeah.
much would it cost to have you work for me? And I told him, and he's like, cool, you start tomorrow. I was like, well, what am I going to be doing? He's like, I don't know, bro. We're just going to figure it out as we go. I was like,
Yep. That is essentially what it was when I came on. It was very like kind of out of pocket, but I was with it mostly because Dakota was here. She's my sister, like we've said. So I was like, I trust Dakota. I don't fucking know these guys, but I guess we'll go through
Yeah,
this together.
beer and pizza is always a good vibe, especially.
Yeah, they bribed for sure.
But all right, let's get into what do you guys do now? I mean, obviously you're in equipment leasing. How
Yep.
does that kind of look? What type of equipment do you guys lease? What's your target, audience, and what kind of, customers are you guys dealing with?
Mm-hmm.
Predominantly, we lease dry van trailers. So we get used equipment we buy them from the fleets through our wholesale side, because we have access to just great pricing. And right now, everyone's getting great prices on dry van trailers. With the ones that we owned, we started the leasing company, and we are targeting smaller fleets that need to rent them and make some money that way from them.
I don't want to cut you off. I just want to tell Matt thank you for noticing, because I just launched the company and then I got this hat made. And I don't ever wear hats, but this is the only hat that I'll ever actually wear.
All good. It's all good. So we lease to smaller fleets. We don't lease to the bigger guys yet. We'd like to, but our customer right now is someone that's not doing probably the best on their credit, and they need a cheaper trailer for a shorter time frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're succeeding right now with the equipment that we have.
So what's a typical lease look like for you guys? 3 months, 6 months, monthly?
Honestly, it's month to month.
Month
Yep.
to month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid, to be honest, because I was doing power only as a carrier. I was the main dispatcher and just dealing with the carrier stuff in power only. And your only access to trailers that make any sense are going through brokers to use loadouts, for a week or 5 days or 10 days. But then you always have like this place you need to bring it back to. And dealing with brokers is kind of tough because they're not in that business. They just happen to have trailers that they're renting here and they're moving for somebody. And I feel like dealing with a company that's specializing in renting like you guys are never going to send a piece of paper to somebody and be like, hey, come pick up this trailer in this parking lot, and it's not going to be there, because that's your guys' only job is to make sure the equipment's actually there. So I think there's definitely a need for trailer leasing monthly in our industry. I mean, do you guys do anything else? You guys renting mainly the dry van trailers, but you also doing maybe some step decks and flatbeds?
There's a few flatbeds in the fleet. We don't do anything with reefers because we don't want to mess with engines or motors or anything like that. What are we doing?
This Matt had said Minnesota's best state ever. I agree.
Yeah, Matt's a proud Minnesota guy. So if you guys
hell yeah,
he's one of the proudest Minnesota guys I know. So.
No, but like Chris was saying, we've got step decks in the fleet and whatnot, but in kind of cahoots with Newport Leasing, they've got property up in Clearwater here where we run the leasing company out of. With that, they do what's called 94 Park Place. It's a parking company. So it's really hard to find truck and trailer parking nowadays. So they started 94 Park Place, and with the space that they have up here, they rent that out to drivers for parking. So that's part of what they do up here as well, or we do rather.
And that's owner ops. That's we do drop lock capabilities, like kind of deal the above.
Yeah, truck parking is definitely a massive issue. And I mean, you don't really have too many options besides, truck stops. And most truck drivers, when I was dispatching, like, I'm not taking a load today because by the time I pick it up, I won't be able to have a truck parking spot in this state at this time. I'm like,
No, it's a big issue.
Which, really sucks for them because basically I can't make money because I don't have anywhere to go afterwards.
Oh, yeah, it's brutal. And when they sleep on the shoulder, cops harass them, people harass them. You know, there's some not very safe neighborhoods that they end up parking.
Well, exactly. That's another part too. Safety is a huge thing.
So what would you guys say you do differently than other leasing companies, and what are your guys' kind of strengths as a company?
Well, we do a podcast. That's different than others.
That's
I think something that might be more major is that we don't do credit checks. So that offers a bigger area for customers to have that ability to rent out a trailer from us.
Yeah. I would say that affordability, flexibility with your terms. We do really good like promo discounts for if you're renting our trailer. We do in-house shop work for you. You get a discount on parking if you want to park with us. We're always looking to have the backs of the people who want to join our team. So
yeah, I mean, my career started off in the carrier side of things. And I mean, I moved into brokerage recently, but my heart will always be with the drivers since that's what I spent the majority of my time with. And I feel like there just isn't really enough people that focus on them and try to help them out. So it's always nice for me to hear about companies that care about the drivers.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and with that too, our fleet's it's a good size right now, but we do want to grow. So I would say we're around 300 leasing trailers right now. With that, we work very closely with the customers that rent from us. So we recognize names when people call in. We recognize company names when we're talking about certain things. So we've got a very close relationship with a lot of our leasing customers. And I remember I was watching one of your other podcasts, and I can't recall who was on, but you guys were talking about sustainable growth. And that's something that we've talked about a lot here is like, we would like to get bigger, but at the same time, grow in a way that's realistic so we can keep the quality control here.
Keeping the same values, keeping the same quality of service, because once you start rapidly expanding, it's very easy to lose sight of those things.
For sure.
I mean, but 300 is not a small number by any means. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting you to say, but there's a respectable amount of trailers. If you put them all in one spot, you'll be blown away how big that looks.
We want 20,000.
Yeah, I mean, so that's my next part. What is your guys, next 2 to 3, 4, 5 year goal look like?
Our original plan was to double every year trailers that we owned. This last year, we weren't able to, with the pricing that new trailers got up to, we were really proud to be able to order our first sets of new trailers, which were 22 and 23 Great Danes. But those got up into the 50s at that point for price. You had to order early, and if you didn't order, someone else got them, and we were lucky to get them. Now a new trailer is, it's so much less now. So we got in a little bit high there. So we didn't purchase any for the fleet this year, but next year we're ramping up, and we are looking to double.
Yeah, I mean, doubling every year is an ambitious goal. When you're at 10 or 50 or 100, it makes sense. But once you get to 300, what are you going to do? 6, 12, 24. I mean, at a certain point, you got to start making new goals, man. Like add 100 every year. Like, I mean, you got to be realistic with it. But one more question for you guys on the business topic. How do you guys lease these trailers? Do I have to, like, let's say I was a truck driver, do I have to come out to Minnesota, or do you guys do kind of some drop programs where you kind of leave them where they are at certain times?
Generally, you have to come to Minnesota. That's where our trailers are. That's where, when we get them back, that's where we want them. If you can get them out of another place from us, that means we had to collect.
Somebody didn't bring it back.
Yeah.
And what we said about the drivers earlier being on their side, if they're not paying, it's not because they're out living the life of luxury on your dime. It's because they're not paid. They're not out away from their families because it's their choice to, whatever. There's some kind of issue. So going backwards, that does separate us from other people, is we give all these guys options and payment plans and runs every month on payment day. There's missed payments.
Yeah, stuff happens in trucking, bro. One tire, one transmission, something gonna put you back 3 weeks of work. So
right. And most of the times, something happens, they're not prepared, for that extra charge on their truck, and they couldn't make the payment and they couldn't keep going. So we do understand some of that, and we work with these guys.
Yeah, you got to be flexible, but to a point, you're still a business.
Right.
That actually leads me into another question. Are you guys dealing with mostly single truck or maybe like 2-3 truck MCs, owner operators? Or are you guys dealing with carriers that are a little bit larger?
I would say it's mostly owner ops, kind of onesies, twosies here and there, but we have started getting into, we've got a handful of companies that are larger too.
Yeah, no, because I figure it's mostly the owner ops. I could see that being a great value. Can't remember. I think Jason Putney, he started a carrier company after being an owner op for a long time. And he did the typical thing. He's like, man, I bought a truck, couldn't afford a trailer, started renting trailers till I could afford one. And so, it's definitely a viable route to go down. Any last words on the business you guys run before we move into the next segment?
I don't think so.
I think we've covered. You guys are from Minnesota. Yeah. You're nice people. Your sell is that you care about people. You run a business, kind of like a mom and pop shop, not some corporate nonsense. I get that.
Yep, absolutely. We're all human.
All right, cool. Let's go into podcasting, since the title of the show is the Trailer Trash Podcast. So, let's get into, how did you guys start with a podcast? Where did that come from?
Beth, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Yeah. So when I had hired on 2.5, almost 3 years ago now, Dakota actually came to me and was like, hey, the guys have all this equipment to podcast. They really want to do a podcast. And
is this a thing? Is Minnesota nice a term you guys use over there?
It's a thing. Yeah, because when you go to other states, people are assholes. So
yeah, they're fucking pricks. Sorry.
But anyway, she came and she said, hey, the guys have this stuff for a podcast. They want to start doing a podcast. And this was 3 years ago.
They just went out and bought it, like to force you guys to make a podcast?
Hyperfixation. Absolutely. Yes.
Chris, what happened with that?
We had it before with the ambition of starting it ourselves, but we couldn't figure out the equipment.
We couldn't figure it out.
So they had the equipment, and I was like, oh man. And this was when the market was sky high, and all of our trailers were out. So it was pretty slow in the office for Dakota and I at the time. So we were like, oh, fuck yeah, let's start a podcast. And we made a power presentation. I don't know if we've ever told you, Chris.
No, we haven't.
We wanted to convince them to let us do a podcast during our work day. And we made a power presentation, and it was like, have you seen Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was basically
the Catalina wine mixer scene where they have this Yeah.
Yeah. So it was basically that, but it was like Newport worldwide.
Why?
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 We planned to get pantsuits and everything. That fell out. We started getting busy because trailers started coming back again.
Yep.
So it kind of dropped off the map. And then as of like late, Ellie actually started talking about it, and she was just gonna do like a quick like checking in with Ellie kind of thing. And from that budded like, oh, we still have all the equipment for this. Should we turn this into a full-blown podcast? And then we started recording, like this was like within a week where it was like, we should start a podcast. And then we got the setup done. So started recording with the equipment that they had. I bitched and whined for better mics because I didn't like the old ones. And they were like, yeah, whatever you guys need, go for it. Go for it. So it was basically like, we want to start a podcast. And all the guys were like, go for it. Like, you have whatever you need. We want you to do this. Take time out of your day. Go ahead, do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a podcast is definitely something that's just, it's like free marketing, right? Like, I mean,
Yep.
besides the microphones you guys bought, like,
Right.
you don't have like this massive investment into it. And I mean, putting out the content, you get a chance to meet people, talk to different people. You get, you know, face to your company. You become, you know, people rather than just a corporation. So
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, what would you guys say are some tips for people looking to get into podcasting or actively podcasting? And what did you guys kind of learn from the day one to now kind of thing?
Do your research on your fucking technology.
I thought you were gonna say on your guests, and I was gonna feel perfect, like personally attacked because I don't.
On your guests.
I think that was before you went live. Alex refused to talk to us before this podcast. He was like, yeah, you know, I really don't like having conversations with people before the podcast.
Yeah, I hate it, man. I absolutely hate it because then they just tell you everything that you're about to ask them, and then you have to like pretend to be surprised. So I like when it's like a genuine reaction to things.
No, for sure. I would say like my biggest piece of advice, like we were talking about with you before, like the scripted shit doesn't work. It doesn't sound natural. Like, and like
it's weird. Like, it's really weird.
It's robotic.
Yeah, for sure. Have shit to talk about. Otherwise it just gets really dirty and just like off topic.
Falls off the rails quickly. Yeah. I mean, I had one girl, so my podcast is just kind of like a chill environment to learn how people act, you know, when they're not their corporate version of themselves. And I had this one girl come on, and she's like a head of marketing for a lot of social media companies. And she was like, it's really easy to be scripted and talk about current events. You know, it's not easy to be like interesting and funny. You know, that's not easy. I'm like, yeah, it's like pretty fair, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, what's your guys' central theme on your podcast? I mean, what kind of guests you guys interview? What's kind of what would you guys categorize yourselves as?
It's just like kind of the vibe you got, just laid back. If people are going to be on it, anybody involved in the trucking industry, our big thing was like, we want driver stories, and we got a couple episodes in with those. Anything related to trucking, really, where we can just have like a laid back, honest conversation about it. And we were talking to Chris earlier today, and there were a couple people that had made comments like, "Oh, I didn't really like that episode. It was like really raw. You guys cussed a lot in it." And I was like, "We warned you about this. Like, this is what it was gonna be." When you're talking about like the corporate job and like it's hard to be interesting and whatnot. Like when you work like that, you're fit into a mold all day. So like that was a way to just kind of like chill out and like, hey, this is us. If you want to listen, great. If you don't.
Yeah, some guy told me one time in a negative way. He was like, your podcast is like two friends having a phone call. I was like, bro, that was the whole point. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the compliment. I think it's also cool because we've had like just last week I had a driver reach out to me on LinkedIn, and he was like, hey, can you talk about like driver's pay? And I was like, hey, do you want to come on and talk about driver's pay? Because I can't, I'm not a driver. You're a driver. Like, let's use this platform and you get on and talk about it. Use your voice. Like, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, drivers specifically, I really try to get on here. I just haven't really been too lucky because I ran through a lot of my driver friends. Like, I've just talked to them so many times and I'm like, bro, if you come on here, like, it's just going to be like a dead end conversation. And then it usually turns into drivers complaining about brokers. And I'm like, bro, like I don't want to do that.
This is awkward.
Just like a really weird vibe when you get those like complaining drivers in. And, it's tough to know because like I was in driver recruiting for a few months and they're all really nice when you talk to them on the phone. And then they get stuck at a pickup for like 4 hours, and they're telling you, "I'm gonna come like murder your family." I'm like, holy
Oh yeah, they pop
Yeah, that's
off.
a problem. Yeah.
I'm gonna deadhead 800 miles and fuck up your car. Get me home.
it's tough to know which drivers are cool or which drivers are like absolutely insane. So, and
Animals.
it's a live show. I refuse to record this show because the live part is like that's the fun part of it for me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that we talked about doing too, is just going live, but I think it scared us in the beginning.
Well, I mean,
I
I
know
saw you guys. I saw the clip with Sam. That's how I like found you guys. I mean, you guys have like a really high-end production, right? Like it's all in the same room, just multiple camera angles. So, I mean, I like that vibe. It's very high quality.
That
It's
was
just
Sam's
the whole
Yeah.
live thing is tough because you can't really do a live show with that type of production quality. So,
No, I will say that was all Sam.
Yeah.
But thank you.
I am in the room that we are normally in, so it is just a 4-wall box, basically.
Seriously, Ellie should give him a 360 view because it's typically just us sitting around with like 12 Starbucks cups and
Yeah.
like.
Oh, actually, I will show you
Done.
this. We had
There was, like,
soundproofing on the
We
wall.
had sound-
This
it all
is-
fell off.
This is where we're at currently.
Show him the bottle. I think it's still in there. It's the fucks to give.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. There's a little bottle, glass bottle we keep in there, and it's just full of
It
wood
was
letters
fucks
that say
to give,
fuck.
and then Dakota broke all of them in half. So
There are
there's
none.
just
to
a there's just a fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, no, I'll definitely give you guys the compliment on the production value stuff. I would love to get into quality like production like that and same room stuff. I'm in
Mhm.
Serbia, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit more tough to get guests to come in person to interview them.
Right.
But we'll see how that goes down the line.
Yeah.
Do you guys poach any of your customers onto the podcast? Because I guess you guys have a like relentless supply of drivers stopping by.
You know, that's something we've never tapped into, and it's a very good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, man, how do I find drivers? It's like, 'cause it was just sitting in my head now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't get more drivers. I'm thinking about you guys. Like he just said, they have to come pick up the trailer and drop
Yeah.
it off.
there is
guys should-
honestly, if you want like a good idea, if you have Facebook, go on to like the truck driver pages there. If you want drivers on,
Yeah.
they love talking
love to
on
talk,
there. Like
yeah.
we posted on there for driver stories. And there's some of them who are like, I'm not giving you my content for free. And other ones who were just like keyboard warriors. They loved it. So I think you might be able to find like quite a few on those pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know I gotta get into Facebook. Since I started this podcast, I like don't use Facebook, but I know that's just like a very good place to find drivers. So.
Yep.
But yeah, basically, if I was you guys, I would just be like, "Here's the trailer that you've taken. You want to be on our podcast?" Quick, just
Yeah.
be like the weirdest interaction with a trailer.
Just
Something
capitalize on a warm body.
Yeah.
We pick up on this day at this time. You know, it's not in the recording room.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start ordering pizzas and be like, "Hey, you want to come do my podcast with me for an hour?"
Pizza and Bush Light, and just like
Yeah,
lure
exactly.
them into the little tiny room where we do it.
So I mean, the whole podcast, and I think you guys are kind of doing the same thing as me, where it's just like I think there's enough current events and serious corporate podcasts where it's like
Yes.
I want to watch just like some funny stuff and like some
Yep.
I want to watch like some normal conversations with normal people,
Right.
and not
Yep.
just some like guy that's gonna sound like he's talking on LinkedIn all day. Right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things about the podcast being raw or people, complaining about the curse words or whatever. That's what our everyday is like.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Especially with these three. I mean, there's no shortage of cuss words or anything. And the podcast is even toned down from some of the stuff I've heard. So it's really great. You're getting the real interaction.
Yeah, but on those lines, we're in trucking. Like that was the allure of trucking to me, right? Because I came from a plumbing background, which is trades, and I mean it's just like fuck every second word in trades.
Right.
And then I came into trucking, and I was sitting in like a very fancy office, and everybody around me was like, "Yeah, fuck that guy, fuck this." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like that's to me the benefit of working in trucking is that
Right.
you're allowed
Yeah.
to swear.
And
Yeah.
also they're women in the industry, which is there's
Mhm.
more now than there ever has been, but it's still like fairly new.
Still male dominated for sure.
Confident women, able to talk the talk and know what they're talking about. It's that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you definitely need thick skin as a woman in logistics, right? Because I've seen some LinkedIn posts where these women are just like mad about things that's just like what it is, dude. Like, I mean, like if you're gonna come into trucking, you're gonna understand that like people are gonna swear at you, people are gonna scream at you, like that. I mean, you're not working at a bank, right? So
Yep. Nope. That is that's something that I learned really quick when I was in healthcare. It was a lot of female cattiness towards each other. And then coming into trucking, it was switched. It was like the men were, it was just very interesting to see that dynamic shift there. And I learned very quick not to take that shit home with me.
Well, that's the thing. You can't take it personally here. Like the guy, like when I say the guys, I mean the owners. Like we've all had conversations where we know we're probably going to flip out on each other. Some shit's going to be said, but it's never taken personally, ever taken personally. I think there was a text that's the other day that somebody said to somebody in the group chat, and it was like, "Shut the fuck up, you bitch."
Yeah.
And it just kind of just rolled on, and everybody was fine.
I mean, that's kind of one of the beauties of trucking to be. Even the other day, I have like a team that I manage, and I told this one guy he made a mistake, and I explained some stuff to him, and then I reread what I wrote to him. I was like, "Shit, bro." I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry if you read that. Like, that didn't sound very good." But like, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not mad at you or anything. I just didn't type it very nicely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you definitely got to roll with the punches in trucking. That's for sure.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
All right, Chris, I think this is a perfect time to see you out if you need to get going. We're just going to
see you guys later.
See you, Galactic Warrior. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Give me those reports.
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Like I said, if I ever hear carriers who need trailers, man, sending them to you guys.
Right on.
See you guys later. Have a good weekend.
Take it easy.
See you, Crispy Rat.
Live, laugh, up.
All right, speaking of not planning ahead, I don't have a 4-camera setup left, so we're just gonna roll with it like this. I went over my 4-camera preset, so anyways, we'll run it like this.
Just talk about all your sponsors really quick, and then
Yeah, shout out to Click Logistics, EF Routing, Fair Trade Workforce, and Manifold. Sorry, you guys aren't here for the next 20 minutes. As far as podcasting goes for you guys, what would you say you've kind of learned? And what are some of the benefits of podcasting that you guys have seen?
Ellie, do you want to go on this one first?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't even know. For me personally, it's allowed me to be more open and kind of like, because I have kind of a shell, and some people have even noticed that and said I'm a quiet one. And yes, I am. So it's allowed me to open up more and talk to people that I don't know and meet new people, which is really, really fun. I love meeting new people.
Yep.
So I think the opportunity is that it's not only opened for us, but for even other people and the company and other podcasters. Like, I think it's been really, really special.
I mean, I think having the ability to talk to strangers is like a life skill, because I have a business partner and he like books some of my shows for me. And he's like, "I booked a show. Are you sure you want to interview this person you've never talked to?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro." It's like, it's going to be the same interview that I do with everyone else that I know, bro. It's just the same questions, the same order. Like, so, I mean, definitely having the confidence to talk to strangers is, especially on video, because it's a lot different when you can like see each other. So,
and live is different too.
I know a lot of people that I'll have like really great conversations with before they come on the show on the phone. And then the show starts and goes live, and they just become like a brick. Like they just freeze up.
Just
I'm like,
frozen.
"Whoa!" Like, you were like the funniest dude I ever talked to an hour ago. What happened? Like,
that is one thing like I want to commend Sam Watts for. So like he was a really nice guy before like the mics and the cameras were on, like held a conversation with us. But once that shit turned on, it was like a switch flipped, and he was just a million miles an hour and on his shit. And we were all kind of like, we're recording in our studio, but we were a little intimidated by him, to be honest.
He was
a
amazing.
very good speaker.
Yeah, it's funny because Sam got us, like, that's how I found you guys. The funny story with me and Sam is that we've been interacting for like 2 years on LinkedIn. Never talked to the guy, bro. Like, never talked to him on the phone. Never had him on the podcast. Like, have never actually spoke to that guy my entire life.
He's awesome.
Dude,
he'd be a good guest.
100%.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna bring him on the show. It just always keeps slipping my mind. But we've been like commenting back and forth for years. He's like the smartest guy I know when it comes to like safety and trucking.
Yes. And he's punny as hell. Like, he is like the epitome of dad jokes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, he has kids. He's always posting about his kids with this like race team.
So
I figure he has like a bunch of dad jokes. On the
Yeah.
topic, actually, let's start getting into some of the funny stuff. On the topic of jokes, this is one of the segments of my show that I'm still very iffy on, but sometimes it works and it's hilarious for me. Do you guys have any jokes? Do you have like a favorite joke?
I watched this the other day on like an episode, and it
It's
was
like
the most,
1 for 5 or 1 for 6.
it
Nobody has
was
jokes.
like the most awkward interaction I'd ever seen you have with anybody. I was like, this is fucking painful right now. I forget what the joke
it's brutal.
was.
I'm
How do you know
panicking
a
because I
doctor
don't have a
dumb dumb or
fucking
something?
joke.
I have
Yeah,
the chicken one.
Okay,
I don't want to say it though.
Pop off, Ellie.
Yeah, come on, you guys said you were gonna say
Carry
it.
this team.
Hold on, I'm gonna say the first part and you guys say the second, okay?
Okay.
Here, just
You guys
before
know
we'll
what to say.
preface this joke by you guys having personality, so this joke better be good.
Oh,
shit.
It's fucking
Great.
you're
trash.
gonna laugh your ass off at us because it's so bad.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
why did the chicken cross the road?
No idea.
Without the
I don't-
Dakota?
I have no idea what the joke
Yeah,
is, Ellie.
What joke are
No,
you?
remember we were talking to Alex and you were like,
Oh man, I feel really bad for leaving Ellie right now.
Fuck. Yeah, we've just turned this segment into a really painful segment to
Cut
watch.
the
that you were
stream.
just-
Cut the stream right now.
but
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Ellie, don't cry. Tell the joke.
no, I don't want to say it now. Like,
Is there a joke?
Oh. Okay, ask it again. Ask it again.
okay,
I've got
why
it.
did the chicken cross the road?
Okay.
Guys, that was so
I
difficult,
told you, I'm
wasn't
so
it?
trash.
Sorry.
Oh
I'm
my
so sorry.
God.
I forgot.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, just so everybody who watches this again, they type the answer in a private chat, bro.
yeah.
Piss off.
Mhm.
Don't give away our tricks, okay? I sold it like I
Okay.
just remembered it.
Okay. Getting away from the joke. See, that's my thing. Like, it's not awkward for me, right? Because I just asked the question. If they don't have a joke, it's like kind of not my
Well,
problem.
what about? Do you have a new joke
Yeah,
prepared?
what's your joke? Can you tell
Fuck.
a joke?
Nah, nobody ever asked me that, bro.
Okay, well,
One the other
we
day.
are.
Just pull it
I
up.
have only one joke, but I've already used it, so I can't really use it again. And I can't even tell it properly. I'll just get canceled because it's 2024. So
No. Okay. All right.
yeah, I don't have a joke. Nobody. See, that's the thing on this show. Nobody asks me questions. Like, I swear to God, I've done this is 38 episodes, and I think I've been asked 2 questions, and that was the second one.
So that was my thing, and I can't remember if I mentioned it to Dakota and Ellie earlier today. I was like, I'm gonna try really hard because I figure like if it's your podcast, you want to be the one asking questions. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try really hard not to interrogate him back, but like
she will. For sure.
I would, and I was
No,
very
like honestly, it's like really refreshing when somebody asks me a question because it's like at this point in my show, I've kind of refined my structure down like
Yeah.
it's like pretty fucking robotic at this point where it's like
Yep.
this is what we're gonna talk about and this is the order it goes in, which is really nice because it takes the pressure off of me from having to think about what am I gonna ask people.
right.
But at the same time, it's really refreshing when somebody's like, hey, like, and asks me something because now I get to think about something because for the
Right.
most part, I'm just kind of chilling. You know?
Yep. Are you
So
okay?
You have any questions?
Who hurt you?
Are you
Jeez.
okay?
No, yeah.
He starts fucking
actually-
crying.
Yeah, it's okay. You can cry.
No,
Just
don't cry. 'cause
turns
then
off
I'll
the
cry.
mic and ends the show. Yeah.
He cuts himself off and leaves us here the entire time.
You guys can host.
I'm
the show,
Alex
though.
Bates,
Yeah.
taking over this.
No, I'm actually in like the best point of my life at this moment, which is great. So,
Oh,
Good.
that's good to hear. Do you have a
That is.
family?
no, I do not. I have a girlfriend, and I mean, like, I have a family, bro. Yeah, like not my own family, but like I have my family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any
Okay.
dogs? Any cats? Rats?
so-
Perhaps?
The
Serbian
funniest-
ferrets.
Yo, the biggest thing about living in Serbia that I still am very happy about is we don't have skunks and we don't have raccoons because those fucked my life up in Canada, dude.
Is that something you
That was a very big problem for
a
you.
lot?
Yeah, like every time because I used to work a job where I have to leave at like 5 or 6 in the morning to go to work, and there would
Ooh.
always be a skunk or a raccoon at my house.
Really?
Yeah,
In
it's
your
pretty-
house?
No, at
Oh.
definitely not in. If it was in, I would just burn the house down and start over.
Do you want to talk about
I'm
it some more?
No,
Yeah,
so
let's
as far as
unpack this.
animals go, I had a cat for like pretty much since the first month that I moved to Serbia. Like I found a cat on the street. I thought I lost that cat like a couple months back, and I just took another cat from the street. He was like 2 days away from dying, but now he's good. So.
Do you
I
ever
was
think
chilling.
maybe these cats don't want to be taken by you and that's why they're disappearing?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yo, it's funny that you say that because I just found a cat the other day that is currently like living in my shed and I'm having to medicate it twice a day to freaking nurse it back to
Are
health.
you
So
giving the cat drugs, bro? Like,
the good
Yes.
stuff. Antibiotics, eye ointment. She's looking good as fuck, man. She's ready to rock and roll.
your cat. So this guy said this to me because I obviously have like a good salary by Serbian standards, and one of my friends told me once, he's like, your cat doesn't know how fucking lucky it is, bro. It's eating like the fanciest cat food and shit. Like, he's like, most cats here, bro, they eat like that $2 a bag of shit. Your cat's like living out here. Like,
Why did the first one run away then?
Yeah.
that's a long story.
Did you write him a letter? Ask him for him?
Yo, I tried to find that cat, man. He just dipped. Like, I think this is the thing, because most cats are kind of gross, like out here. Because, like,
Yeah.
so in North America, right, like we have animal control. So, like, you don't see a lot of cats and dogs because they just take them. Here, we don't have animal control. So, like, bro, there's dogs and cats, like, everywhere you go.
Oh,
And,
really?
but most of them are
Wow.
pretty gross and they're not very friendly. So, most people don't stay away.
Just feral cats and dogs.
Hey, don't
everywhere.
talk about us like that.
Yeah. And like, there's actually a funny thing where, like, if a dog bites you, the country will just give you money because, like, it's cheaper than having animal service, I guess. So they'll just.
I
like,
would just
I would
cover
go
myself in bacon grease and walk into your streets, into your Serbian streets. Bite
Yeah,
me.
I never thought about it that way. But long story short, my cat ran away, and he's like very well kept and friendly. So somebody was probably like, "Oh, a nice cat," and just took him immediately.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm sure he's
So-
living with $2 bags of cat food now.
Yeah, now he's living with some poor family that can't even feed themselves.
But he brings them much joy, so we're happy for him.
Oh fuck, dude. All right. Funniest and craziest logistics stories. As an equipment rental company, have you guys faced damaged trailers, angry drivers, anything in that kind of realm?
Ellie's got the one for this one.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
This is when Beth and Dakota were on maternity leave. So I was just in the office by myself and just getting new into the whole leasing side of things. And there was a drive-in trailer that came back on rental, and the driver came in here and said something about how the trailer might be damaged. He doesn't know. It might be totaled. He also didn't know.
When they
So,
use the
yeah.
word might, I just expect like a fucking
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah. Yep. So I was
Yep.
like, okay, well, I'm going to be curious and pretend like I know what I'm doing and walk out there and look at the trailer. And it looked fine from the outside. There was no visible damage from what I could see. So I walked around the entire trailer, and then finally I'm like, okay, well, let's just see what's on the inside. Like, what if he has a load in there or something? I open it, and the entire roof of the trailer is like can opened.
Yeah,
Like
just
the entire
peeled, like,
thing.
Just peeled.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm like, okay, well, I just closed the door and I walk in the office and I grabbed one of the older guys that was here, and he walked out there, and his just immediate reaction was, holy fuck. Like, what did this guy do to the trailer?
Yeah, but wait,
You
so
know-
it was can open, but only from the inside?
Yeah, he
The
hit
whole
a
top was
bridge.
just
Like the
Mhm.
top of
He
it
had-
was like fucked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had hit it
Nice.
like just right to where just the roof had peeled off of it.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
wild.
I mean, in all my years of dealing with drivers and breakdowns and stuff, I found out when they use the word might or maybe, it's like very fucked, because
Yeah.
if something's broken,
Absolutely.
you're gonna know it's broken or not, bro. You're not
Mhm.
gonna say it might be damaged. You're gonna say,
Yeah.
yo,
yeah,
it's-
exactly. No, our shit's fucked. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Um,
Things are totally
we
that
get-
trailer.
We get a lot of driver complaints from people, motorists on the road, who think that we're a trucking company because they see our trailer. They
you
call
guys
us.
brand your trailers,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. So we get all of these calls, and the most infamous-
speeding. He's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
well, hold your horses there, Alex, because the best story was a complaint that came in about a gentleman. I'm sure he's a lovely person, masturbating with his dome light on in his truck.
It was he quoted the time too. He was like, it is like 4 a.m. or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Me and my wife-
4:04 a.m. and I see your driver whacking his meat in the truck.
masturbating with the dome light on. I've called the police.
No, he
Okay.
said his wife had the cops on the phone.
Mhm.
What are the cops gonna do? Please, sir, stop masturbating.
Yo, I'm not even upset about the masturbation because like I kind of get it. Like you're a truck driver, but like why the
Yeah.
fuck did you leave the light on? You know?
No,
That's the part.
Men are visual creatures, you know.
No, that's the part that confuses me. Like with the dome light
Yeah.
on, like
Yeah.
probably
There
should
were
have
a
done it
couple of
in the
calls.
dark. Yeah, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's,
Sean, we do see your comments. I saw
yeah.
your little
Somebody said
comment that
something
you
about-
left here.
Not
yeah, so this
commenting.
is like so Sean's one of my business partners on Carrier Defender, another
Gotcha.
co-founder, and he also helps me
Oh,
out
yeah.
with the podcast. And we've been having this thing where like, bro, nobody invites me to do shit. Like nobody. One guy like a month or two ago was like, "Hey, you want to come on my podcast?" And I had a really slow day. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, bro, I'm free today." He's like, "Cool," and then just never replied. And I was like, "All right." I guess that's it, bro. I guess I'm not going on any podcasts. Actually, I lied. I went on the Logistics Lounge one time. So,
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
yeah, so I've
Okay,
done
What
one.
are some of these comments?
Yeah. So there's like
people-
ongoing. I'll explain that to you. There's like an ongoing feud between probably the most deranged man on the internet in logistics, and he's just making like fake accounts to troll everybody. So
Wait, what do they call him?
I mean, I'm assuming it's Sage at this point. That's the only weirdo I know.
No, there was somebody asking about somebody. I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna look it up.
What did they call him, bro? What is it, like some troll vigilante?
No, they like he had a
Mr.
real name that,
Logistics troll, bro.
no, he had a real
Guy
name
wears
that
a suit.
everybody knew, and he was just like an internet troll or like a truck stop troll or something like that. But like some of these fucking comments are,
Yeah, some of those comments are next level, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, but funny enough, I used to be actually like probably one of the biggest trolls on LinkedIn because when I started my LinkedIn account, my only goal was to talk shit to brokers. Like that was like all that I did
Yes.
for years.
Oh,
So I got into
lovely.
like so much hot water, man. Like that was my whole infancy on LinkedIn. Like the first 18 months, I would just log on, just say like "fuck you" to every broker I saw, and then just log out and just let them like be on fire for the day.
Log in from a different account and then like your old "fuck you" comment.
No, that's like literally how I started. But anyways,
Well, look at how you've grown.
Look at, we're so proud of you.
yeah. See, like I hit the hammer, like I hit the nail on the head with this one. Like, of course it's Sage, bro. There's like only one lunatic that I know, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, just we solved that mystery. It's just show number 2 where this guy's just and like look at the name of the accounts, bro. Like, what's happening? How does he make so many accounts so quickly? Like,
I don't
is it like
know.
9 fake accounts, or maybe they're just ready to go because he's just so.
I
Weird.
think they're just loaded on deck, ready to go.
Yeah, he's just ready to troll everybody. But craziest logistics stories, is that it? You guys have like maybe one more?
Yeah.
We actually have an episode out where we tell quite a few of these.
Oh, okay.
Mine are like
Well, you want to
drive-
like reuse one more of them?
Do I want to? Okay, hold on. Let me sift through all of the ones that I have are from working in fleet management with drivers. A lot of them are very good drivers, but you get a couple of bad apples in there that were like, what the fuck? I had a guy one time who had to sit over the weekend without a load, and I got an email at like 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, and he had gotten absolutely plastered at a truck stop and threw a table at like a waiter or a waitress, and they called the cops on him, and they eventually got him like out of the truck stop. And when the cops showed up, he was sitting on his flatbed, and they tried to get him down, and he wouldn't get down, so they tased him. And yes, and then brought him to jail. And I tried getting a hold of his wife, and I was like, hey, like, where's this guy? Knowing he's in jail, I know what's going on. And she's like,
you already know the answer.
yeah, he hasn't been by his phone, or oh, his phone's dead. She made up some kind of excuse, and I was like, we know he's in jail and he's lost his job, so he needs to call me right now.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm more like I have more questions about the table than anything. Like he didn't throw
Correct,
a chair;
same.
he threw a table at somebody. Like that's what
We
kind of
actually
a
talked
table,
about that
dude? Like that's the
once.
only thing I'm thinking about. Like a
An
table's
8-foot banquet table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that table that you guys had your first interview at, bro. Like this old mahogany fucking table.
They've actually since gotten rid of that table. I wonder if that's where it went.
Yeah, this guy just
Quite
chucked it at
possibly.
everybody. You made me remember a funny trucker story that I hadn't thought of in a long time.
Ooh.
I had a driver who started becoming so successful that he started buying more trucks and then just hiring dudes. And the joke that we had, because every driver he hired was like the worst driver you ever interacted with. And I made a joke. I was like, I wonder if he's hiring them off Craigslist. And later we found out it was Facebook Marketplace. So same shit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like the back pages or something of Craigslist.
Nah, this is like 2 years ago. I think Backpages was shut down at that point. But long story short, this guy wanted to get paid like 5 days early, and his owner, my driver, was like, "Bro, fuck off! Like it was 2 days since I paid you. Like, why you ask me for money again?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not delivering this freight until you pay me in advance." And so this guy was like, "All right, no problem." We found out later that the guy was just like hammered, bro, at the truck stop, so he couldn't even drive when we paid him. So the guy was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go down there and like just get the truck. Like he's going to drive 400 miles to that guy, grab that truck, deliver his load, and then go deliver like his other load. And when he got down there, the guy was like, he said some crazy shit to him. So my driver just knocked him out, called the police, and was like, yeah, like this guy assaulted me, like almost killed the guy. Got in the guy's truck, drove like 400 miles to the delivery, and then like went back to take his load. I was like, damn, like, that was one of the most wild stories I ever heard. Like he drove 400 miles, knocked out his driver, and then delivered his freight.
We had actually 2 of them that I can remember. They weren't on my fleet, but like kidnapping and human trafficking. A couple drivers were caught with people in their trucks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to leave. You guys had the craziest stories I've ever fucking heard. Let's get away from that one. As far as hobbies go for you guys do a lot of hunting and fishing, or is that just a stereotype?
Raccoons.
Yeah. Just raccoons and skunks, actually.
Yeah.
I am the pest control.
No, but like seriously, what do you guys actually do for hobbies?
I hunt and fish a lot. I'm dead serious. I've got 3 kids, so that's what we stay busy with: hunt, fish, camp, anything outdoors. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I also fish. I don't hunt. I don't have anything against it. It's just not my gig. I have a kid as well, so momming it up. I just bought a minivan, so that's where I'm at in my life. And I really enjoy music.
Bro, Minnesota is the wilderness. They literally all fucking
shut the fuck up, Matt. God, get out of here.
No.
Yeah, it's literally the wilderness, bro. But yeah, being a mom is a good hobby, bro. That's a cool one.
Yeah, it's like a full-time one.
Yeah.
What kind of minivan did you buy?
A Honda Odyssey.
Yes, that's actually the best. My mom had that one, and in Serbia, I haven't seen one ever, but literally yesterday, I saw a Honda Odyssey. I was like, that's a fucking sick minivan. Yeah.
It's like driving a fucking spaceship. I love it.
Bro, it's so nice. That's the best minivan, period.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Ellie,
what do they drive in Serbia? Hold on, I need to clear this up. How have you not seen a Honda Odyssey in Serbia?
Because we just don't have a lot of Hondas, bro. Like, there's like I've seen.
You guys just ride all the stray cats and dogs.
Yeah, we just chain them together, bro, into a vehicle.
Sled dogs.
Nah. I mean, we have like people either drive like brand new BMWs or they drive like 1970 Yugos that should not be on the road. There's no really. I personally have just bought my first car since I lived here because I lived in major cities, so I didn't need one.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a French micro car. It's like about as big as I am, to be honest.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, being 6'5" in a car that's 6'6" is not really the play, but
I mean, whatever. I need to see what this a French micro car is. It kind of like a smart car.
Just type in Peugeot 206. It's actually a little bit better than I mean, my dad. The funniest part is my dad has a smart car, but it has like 150 horsepower, so it's like the most retarded smart car in the world.
Huh. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What do you like to do in your free time?
Well,
I thought you said Alex. I was like, damn, you asked me a question, bro.
No.
You can go.
Get off the podcast.
No, I don't want to answer it now.
Well, I rodeo, so I'm a horse girl, just not the weird ones that run around with sticks.
Yeah, right. You fucking are
weird.
No, and then I hunt and fish too, but it's mainly rodeo that is a part of my life. Horses are like a kid; they're a whole lifestyle, and
I kind of felt like an asshole for the hunting and fishing joke, but it was 3 for 3. So like stereotypes are true sometimes.
No, you're good. Yeah,
you're fine. It's fine.
But yeah, rodeo. So like Bro, what does that even mean? Like, I just picture like you guys catching cows with the rope and shit. Like,
Yeah,
Basically
yeah. So
all
that's
this.
part of it.
yeah, okay.
And then barrel racing. So it's a
Yeah,
cloverleaf
barrel racing.
pattern.
My sister rode horses. Barrel racing, I do know. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So that's mainly what I do.
Okay, I mean that's yeah. You guys like actually doing some cool shit.
Oh
I had
no,
one guy.
when Ellie said she likes to rodeo, she is the horse. She's not riding.
They throw
Yo,
a bit in her mouth.
That clip, you guys saw the clip where the girl puts on like a horse mask and just pretends to be a horse. And she's
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
That
None of
was
us
Ellie.
are still like that.
That was Ellie.
there you go. Sports. I mean, I guess hunting and fishing is a sport. You guys watch any sport?
Hockey. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's 'cause
actually
you're
a Maple
Canadian.
Leafs fan. Yeah.
Yeah, so am I, but it's like
Yep.
depressing every year.
Yeah, it is depressing.
I have actually, if you can see, on my hands, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's good. 4-1-6 is Toronto, and then 19 is like the year that we won. The Raptors won because that's the only year Toronto ever won since like the 60s.
Oh damn, he's a real fan.
He's a real fan.
He's
That's
got it inked on his skin. We were gonna get Newport ends inked on us for
Tattooed
Christmas
on our
for all the
ass
boxes.
That's
cheeks.
Christmas stuff.
Bro, why don't you? If I was you guys, the best marketing play would just be to get a tattoo of like Newport cigarettes and then just replace cigarettes with like
Just put the logo
Oh.
on the pack.
That's not a
yeah,
bad
like just get like that
idea.
menthol Newport menthols with like the green.
Yeah.
And it says Newport, and then you just put the company name under.
I like that. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's like a fucking no-brainer tattoo. If I was
Oh
you
yeah,
guys.
for sure.
All right, let's do it.
Sports, hockey. What about everybody else? No sports.
I'm almost 30. I'm not fucking moving fast enough to participate in sports. Jesus.
All right, music. Is it gonna be country music for all three of you? Like,
Oh fuck
It's
no,
gonna be smut
absolutely
books
not.
for me.
oh, thank God. Okay, what is it?
I'm eclectic. I love everything. Like old shit though, like classic rock, like old rap, old.
Yeah, you're like
old
a old
shit.
old
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
Hey, do you so
Okay.
I asked my girlfriend this the other day, and I think it's only because like she's from Serbia, and like people here might like Shark Doo Doo, like the song because you have a kid.
Baby shark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so like we were
Yes.
driving somewhere, and I have like I can't remember. I think Key Glock made a remix of that song, and he's like Baby Shark, but it's like a crazy rap song. And then-
No.
We're gonna have to listen to it now.
Yeah, and then I asked her, I'm like, do you know this song? And she was like, no. And I was like the original part, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
that's a Serbia thing. If I could find it, Big Choppa.
What's the one that Tori showed me the other day?
People
Trapping
keep
Up
going
the
on with the
Crab.
music you listen to. I'm gonna see if I can find the song for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just like old stuff, like good stuff. I don't know, Ellie. You
I just discovered who Lana Del Rey was.
yeah, she just discovered who Lana Del Rey was, and Paper Planes by MIA. That was
Paper Planes by MIA in 2024.
yeah, she thought it was a brand new song.
Did
Okay.
you
so-
not watch Slumdog Millionaire? That's like the only song in that movie.
She was
Yeah.
probably like 5 when that came out.
A twinkle in her father's nutsack.
Jesus Christ.
She was
Okay.
still drying on her mother's thigh at that point.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Yeah, I am a
Alright.
child.
We have 2 sections left and we're out of here, so like less than 10 minutes to go. Chicken wing choices. Actually, oh no, I lied. Regarding train and rail transportation, how many chuggas come before choo choo?
8.
I feel like you are just watched it and knew the answer.
I'm gonna say 8
How did you get to 8 so fast?
because she's fucking Rain Man, bro.
Can she hear me? Why is she's just like,
I'm
I think
waiting
she's
for
having a
Ellie's
stroke.
answer.
I don't
Is that the
know.
right answer?
why the fuck did you say 8 so fast? You didn't even think about it.
Was
'Cause
that
I've
the
done my
answer?
research. And your chicken wing question, flat, not breaded, ranch.
Oh, you just did your research. Well, that's just like,
Mhm.
fuck.
So I'm
dude,
gonna
now-
hop off here, you guys.
Wait, I'm so lost right now. What?
Yeah, she just watched the show, bro, and knew the answer to the question. Like, I mean, the
Oh,
answer
good
is
job,
8.
Beth.
I mean, the real answer is 8, but in my opinion, it's 4. So, I mean,
What?
No,
Four?
Chugga,
choo
choo.
choo. I would say 6 would be my answer.
Isn't it 2?
chugga, choo, choo, 4, bro. Like, it's just.
No, bro.
Well, I mean, you guys are just saying it much faster, like chugga. Like, I mean, if you say it quickly, you're obviously
Put a
gonna get.
beatbox.
Like, Yeah.
This is a
I mean, you can get
distinguished
to 15
podcast.
if you want to say it fast like that. You'd be like chugga 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 choo choo, and you have
No,
like
it's not as fast. It's the rhythm with it. It's like chugga 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 choo choo. That's 6.
Yeah, I mean, but you are the first guest to like research it, which like, I mean, I guess that's cool. But you ruined.
That's called a
Yeah,
type A
chicken.
personality.
Ruined everything.
I don't like to be
Yeah, you
unprepared.
the
Fucking
two
bitch.
recurring questions on the show. You're like, it's 8, and I like flats, and I like ranch, and I like non-breaded. I'm like, have a
Well,
nice
they
day.
don't
see
know.
you next
Ask
week.
them. Ellie, I'm gonna ask the questions now. Ellie,
Yeah,
what
you-
kind of
since
chicken
you know
wings
the
do you
show so well. Yeah, go ahead. Since you know the show so well, you host Chicken Wing Choices. Go ahead.
All right, my name is
What
Alex.
is the question?
Why does it have to come with an impression? Can you just be you and
It
ask the
wasn't
question?
so much. It wasn't so much of an impression as it was a hard on your name because it's spelled very differently from how I'm used to it being spelled.
Ah,
I
that's
mean,
fair.
just one letter off, really.
yeah, it's like the
No.
same sound if you think about it.
It's an X usually.
Yeah, but it's Alex. It's still an X sound. Like,
I disagree, but
anyways, host the segment. Let's go.
Flats. I like flats.
What?
what
Okay,
we're talking
Chicken Wing Choices, sponsored by Fair Trade Workforce with founder Vince Gonzalez. On the topic of chicken wings, if you order them, is it drums or flats that you prefer?
Flats.
Yeah,
Said it 4 times.
Drums get too like tendony,
yeah.
and like that's nasty.
Yeah, fuck flats. There's too many bones. Ranch or
You're
blue
wrong.
cheese?
That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's completely fine. Ranch or blue cheese for
Blue cheese.
dipping
Blue
sauce?
cheese is
Blue cheese.
disgusting. So ranch.
Blue
Blue
cheese.
cheese
every
is the
time.
best.
Blue
Yes.
cheese is eating a shoe.
A
It is
shoe.
licking the bottom
Yeah,
of a shoe is blue
Like
cheese.
a very refined, like very classy shoe, if you want to put it in those terms.
It's like a
No.
penny loafer.
Or if I like chewed on a sock, that is.
I agree with you, Ellie. I don't like blue cheese either.
No, blue
All right,
cheese
so
is
we got blue cheese, ranch, and then breaded or non-breaded.
non-breaded.
Depends.
Depends on what.
I don't know. Like if I'm eating it in a salad, I don't want.
Why the fuck are you eating chicken wings in a
Chicken
salad?
wings.
dude?
For salad?
Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody wants chicken wings in
I
their salad.
fucking love bones in my Caesar
Yeah,
salad.
I was gonna say I love
Okay,
when
bone
I'm eating
and
my
wings,
salad.
Melly.
I chew on bones, bro. That's my favorite.
Oh no, I don't want bones. Boneless, 100%.
Boneless chicken. That's just a chicken tender at that point.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to have to do the work to get the chicken. Just let me eat the chicken.
What do you mean? You just gotta suck the soul out of them.
No, I just want
Yo,
to bite,
people-
not
People
bone.
keep coming on this show and telling me that they can eat a flat with one hand like that.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
I tried it the other weekend and like it's not. I don't know how people can do that. Like,
Uh.
it just all gets stuck at the top, and then you're still stuck with that part in the middle of the two bones.
I'm not
You
really
just gotta
sure
have
how to
that stupid
explain
stuck a
it.
mouth, boy.
Yeah.
I
just
feel like
gotta
you have
go
to be born with the ability. It's not something that can be taught.
All right, on that bombshell, and we've hit the hour mark. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming.
Thank
and
you.
If I ever find
Yeah.
myself hunting and fishing in Minnesota, I will try to stop by.
Or
Hit
if you
us
see a
up.
raccoon, let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
happy
no,
with
I won't see a raccoon because I live in Serbia, so that's the best part of it.
No, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll all keep in touch for sure.
Yeah,
Right on.
Sounds good.
You too.
Bye.
And that's it for today's episode 38 with the Trailer Trash podcast based out of Minnesota. If you need to rent trailers, especially on a month-to-month basis, definitely hit up Newport. Have a good weekend, everybody.